Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla reveals that the MT Princess Empress is a scrap ship turned into an oil tanker. Remulla said that the vessel caused a massive oil spill in Oriental Mindoro, or that the vessel that caused a massive oil spill is apparently already 50 years old. This is contrary to earlier claims that it was only built 2 decades ago. It was also revealed that the tanker was only bought for 1.2 million, which can be considered scrap at the time of purchase.
Sa sinimulat sa pool, nung nangyari itong kasong ito, nung unang meeting namin noong Sabado, ang bitaw pa sa amin na salita na ang sinabi raw nila sa Coast Guard ay bagong-bago itong barkong ito at hindi pa na siya bago. Ito'y luma na, scrap na siya, na nirebuild. Unang nirebuild para maging LPG carrier, tapos nirebuild na naman, pinahaba para maging tanker.
Meanwhile, the DOJ is now building up possible cases against the sunken vessel's owner, RDC Rail Marine Services. Remulla and other government officials will visit oil spill-affected areas next week to validate the initial findings of the Justice Department. The Secretary also plans to meet with RDC Rail officials amid concerns about the company's ability to cover losses of oil spill-affected communities.
There is already an application. However, it's not yet done. There has been no approved CPC as of yet for permanent addition of ship because the company still has to comply with some lacking documentary requirements. Ang kumpanya po has a valid company CPC. However, the ship M-Tanker Princess Empress has not yet been added to the company's.
And both Filipino and Japanese Coast Guard personnel are hard at work in containing the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. 2 tugboats are leading the offshore oil containment using spill booms in the waters of Nauhan. The tugboats are stationed some 3 nautical miles or around 5 kilometers from the supposed location of the sunken MT Princess Empress, which the Philippine Coast Guard says releases around 10 to 20 liters of fuel per hour. On a daily basis, since oil started leaking, authorities are retrieving 700 to 1,000 liters of concentrated oil. Meantime, the remotely operated vessel or ROV, which will inspect the MT Princess Empress, will be arriving on Monday. The ROV will help determine the best way to siphon the remaining oil from the waters of Oriental Mindoro. In other news, over 780,000 kilos of smuggled refined sugar were seized at the port of Subic. The Agriculture Department said that the illegal import is worth 85 million pesos. The sugar shipment was misdeclared as slipper outsoles and rubber. The DA will file charges against the consignee in violation of the Food Safety Act of 2013 and the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Act. Time to take a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Solicitor General Menardo Guevara tells the International Criminal Court not to rush the Philippines in its investigation into the drug war. Guevara told the chiefs that the ICC is demanding the swift prosecution of law enforcers over alleged abuses during former President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. The Solgen explained that several procedures, like fact-finding, still have to be done as part of due process. Guevara also reiterated that the justice system in the Philippines is working.
We are showing the general situation na iniimbestigahan naman namin yan in accordance with our rules of procedure. Ang nangyayari kasi, Ami, masyado tayong inaapura, masyado tayong minamadali ng ICC. Ang gusto nila ay napakarami na kagad na cases na nakafile sa court for trial. Hindi naman ganun yung proseso natin.
Meanwhile, the country's top lawyer is open to the proposal to create an independent commission that will look into how anti-drug operations are conducted. But the Solicitor General said that the decision is ultimately up to the higher-ups.
Maybe the creation of an independent commission may actually solve that kind of concern na bakit yung mabababa lamang ang iniimbestigahan. So, what I'm saying is, dapat bigyan tayo ng opportunity ng ICC.
Are you proposing a creation of an independent commission to look into these issues?
Ed, that had been proposed by some people much earlier. In fact, I also entertained that idea. But I guess it's a matter for higher-ups to make a decision on something like that.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The chief of Metro Manila's PNP CIDG and 12 of his men have been relieved from their posts. They're being accused of robbery and extortion after arresting several Chinese nationals for alleged illegal gambling on March 13. But instead of filing appropriate charges, the cops reportedly stole jewelry and money from the suspects. 7 out of 10 unvaccinated Filipinos are still unwilling to get COVID-19 jabs 3 years into the pandemic. This is according to a social weather station survey, which also shows that only 12% of respondents are considering vaccination. The SWS notes that there are approximately 9.5 million unvaccinated Filipinos. And oil companies are expecting a rollback in pump prices next week. Diesel prices could be slashed by up to 1 peso and 90 centavos per liter. On the other hand, gasoline prices are expected to be cheaper by 1 peso to 1 peso and 20 centavos a liter. And the hiatus of global sensation BTS is slowing the K-pop industry's expansion into the international scene. That is according to Agence France Presse, or AFP. The group's record label HYBE reportedly said that making the Bangtan Boys undergo South Korean military service has hurt the global growth of K-pop. Recall that the label announced last month that second BTS member J-Hope has started his military enlistment process. The issue of slowing global growth comes days after HYBE suspended a controversial bid to acquire control of rival SM Entertainment. The planned takeover triggered accusations that HYBE is trying to monopolize the K-pop industry. One News Now will be back at 3 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.